How can this be the greatest NFL free agency ever? Huge trade requests, massive contract extensions, teams blown up, teams rebuilt, multiple starting quarterbacks on the move, MVPs cut. Are you kidding me? This free agency has it all, and we're not done. There's still a lot left to place. I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun. I'm really sad I haven't gotten a video to you sooner. I've been super busy elsewhere in life. But before we get too much farther, I need to know. Comment your favorite team down below, because I need to know what team's fans are my fans as well. Okay, so drop your favorite team down in the comments below. But today we're breaking down how this could possibly be the greatest NFL free agency ever. Most change, biggest alteration to the league. Okay, this is eventful, and I'm here for all of it. Personally, I love change, and I think this could be the most exciting year yet. I think we might be done with the domination of the Kansas City Chiefs. So first things first, just a couple days after the said Philadelphia Eagles have won the Super Bowl over the Kansas City Chiefs, we got some news. We got some news out of Cleveland, Ohio, where Myles Garrett, former Defensive Player of the Year, obviously one of the best, if not the best, defensive player in all of football, requesting out of a team that went 3-14. Obviously struggled at the quarterback position, and he said, hey, I love Cleveland, but I got to win some ball games. He requested a trade, and then we got news that Travis Kelce is not going to retire, okay? We got news that Maxx Crosby signed the biggest non-quarterback extension ever to stay in Las Vegas, even though there's been rumors year in and year out over the past 2-3 years about Maxx Crosby possibly leaving the Raiders as well, asking for a trade. He never did. He stayed there, even when Davante Adams left, who we'll get to in a second. Don't you fret. He signed a huge contract, and Myles Garrett then did the same, topping that contract and staying in Cleveland. So maybe that resolves that. Maybe at the trade deadline this season, we talk about Myles Garrett on the move again, potentially. But for right now, he's staying in Cleveland. Then after that, the Seahawks blow our minds by trading Geno Smith, their starting quarterback, mind you, to said Las Vegas Raiders. And so now there's a new quarterback in Vegas. Maybe that's part of what Maxx Crosby got excited about. Is a new start with head coach Pete Carroll and a new starting quarterback in Geno Smith. And for me, for one, not as a Seahawks fan. In fact, as an Arizona Cardinals, an in-division rival fan, I was still excited that the Seattle Seahawks decided to blow it up by trading Geno Smith, because Geno was the definition of mediocre to me. They're going to fight year in and year out for that wild card spot. They're not going to win the division. Okay? As long as they had Geno Smith, I did not think they were going to win the division. I don't think they were going to be real Super Bowl contenders. So in my eyes, mediocrity is the worst thing you can do in sports. I think you either tank and rebuild, or you go for greatness. You're all in, like the Washington Commanders have proven this offseason that they are all in. After last year going out and getting names like Austin Eckler, Bobby Wagner, well, now they're doing the same thing. And they're, in fact, taking big steps, including cutting guys like Jonathan Allen. Okay, so they're really trying to make that push to that next level. What do? The Commanders, they go out and they trade for Laremy Tunsil. Deebo Samuel in trade as well. Is Deebo still the Deebo that we knew 2-3 years ago? I don't think so. But does he add explosiveness to that already capable Washington offense? Absolutely. And then on defensive side of the ball, to replace Jonathan Allen, they got Javon Kinlaw, who is just a little bit younger, and he's going to do the job as well. Jonathan Allen is going to have the best of luck in Minnesota. But that's a tangent. That's a side piece. All right, that's a side piece. That's how cool this offseason is that the Commanders are looking to win the entire NFL offseason, and that's a side piece. Okay? The Commanders, they're legit. I don't know if we'll see them in the NFC Championship game again, but they're going to make their push. Believe you that. Believe you that. All right, so let's go back to the Seahawks. They decide to get rid of the mediocrity stage of their life, and they go ahead, they get rid of Geno for a third-round pick, and they decide a few days later that they are releasing Tyler Lockett And just a couple hours after they decide to release Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf says, hey, I want out. And just a few days later, he is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. Now, I don't think these Seahawks are done, but let's talk about what they did do. They went out and got quarterback Sam Darnold, who was the comeback player of the year, right? That was Sam Darnold. I think he won it. Anyways, had an amazing season as his first year as a starter in a couple seasons. First productive year as a starter, at least. Okay, and did very, very well with the Vikings. The Vikings had J.J. McCarthy backing him up all year. Well, I guess he was injured. He was out for the season, but I think J.J. was supposed to be the starter. Of course, the knee injury makes it Sam Darnold. Darnold has a great year. Now, I think Minnesota is content with just starting J.J. McCarthy next season. But Sam Darnold played himself into a great big new contract for the Seattle Seahawks. Richard Sherman, obviously a former Seahawk great, called this more of a lateral move from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold. And I'm not convinced it's not, but I'm not convinced that it is, okay? So Geno Smith, we're going to have a whole episode. You know what? I'm going to make a whole nother video about the Seattle Seahawks. All right, let's cut to the chase. We're talking about if this is the greatest NFL free agency ever. All right? And I'm not going to go year in and year out and say which one was the best. But come on. I can't think of when we've had this many starting quarterbacks traded or moved around. Okay, so first it was Geno Smith. Sam Darnold is the domino that falls next by going to the Seattle. All right, then we have Aaron Rodgers is cut. Officially, that was only yesterday, but that's where it is. Aaron Rodgers, an MVP, a four-time MVP. Just cut from the New York Jets. Also, Davante Adams was cut. He will go to LA to join Puka Nacua as they cut Cooper Kupp as well. Cooper Kupp is still a free agent right now at this time. They said they were going to trade him. They couldn't find any good trades. He's a free agent. He can go sign where he well pleases. And Aaron Rodgers can do the same thing. Both of those guys were just officially cut yesterday. There's a lot of teams looking at them. For Cooper Kupp, we're hearing Lions, we're hearing Patriots, we're hearing possibly the Commanders even. But for Aaron Rodgers, we're hearing Steelers, we're hearing Vikings could be in that scenario. We're hearing that the Cleveland Browns could be in that scenario. All right. So I expect him to be in the AFC North next season, is what I'm saying. Russell Wilson's a name that isn't signed yet. Where is he going to go? Is he going to go to Cleveland? Is he going to go back to Pittsburgh? I don't know. Justin Fields. Speaking of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Justin Fields has gone to replace said Aaron Rodgers in the New York Jets. Got himself a nice $40 million deal. All right, nothing crazy. A cheap deal for a starting quarterback, but that's exactly what you want if you're the New York Jets. All right, you're focusing on rebuilding. You got some guys already on the squad that you know are franchise guys, such as Quentin Williams, such as Sauce Gardner, such as Garrett Wilson, such as Breece Hall. All right, they all got to get paid, so you got to keep the quarterback pay low. And it's just going to be a nice development time. Are the Jets done? Are they going to draft a quarterback? I don't think that's out of the question. Jordan Travis is there. They drafted him late last year, but he's had some injury issues, and it hasn't looked pretty for him. Gosh, the offseason is just such a fun time. There's just so much more to talk about than in the season, which is crazy. But it's real. Once we get to training camp, it kind of dulls down a little bit, but this is so much fun. All right, so let's count the quarterbacks that have moved. The starting caliber quarterbacks: Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Justin Fields. All right, we got Daniel Jones, who signed with the Indianapolis Colts and was told that he's going to get a chance to battle Anthony Richardson for the starting spot. Kenny Pickett and was traded to the Cleveland Browns for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So obviously DTR is not going to start over Jalen Hurts, but we were told that Kenny Pickett is going to have a chance to fight for that starting job, whether that's just with Jameis Winston, who hasn't re-signed, I don't believe, or Deshaun Watson, depending on what his Achilles does, or do they bring in Russell Wilson? Do they bring in Aaron Rodgers? Okay, those are some great questions, but Kenny Pickett could be a starting quarterback next season. And then we have a couple other guys as well. Mason Rudolph just signed to go back to Pittsburgh. We also saw Mac Jones is going to go be the backup in the 49ers. Josh Dobbs is going to go be backup for the New England Patriots. All right, there's a couple ins and outs, but that many quarterbacks already, it's crazy. And we still got to draft. with Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, all possible going into the first round. Quinn Ewers going to go later. All right. There's still Dylan Gabriel. All right. There's still plenty of guys that could be starting quarterbacks in the next, by the end of the next season. The Cincinnati Bengals was also a big one we got to talk about. I mean, they've been pushing off paying their guys for so long. So Sam Hubbard just decided he's done with football. They franchise tagged T. Higgins. Is that the best use of a franchise tag? Probably not, especially when you still got to pay Jamar. I mean, you got to give them the extension. It's just going to get more and more expensive, or they're going to lose their guys. The longer they wait, money goes up every single year, okay? Pay your guys now, or you're just going to lose them. And I'm not sure that the Cincinnati Bengals aren't okay with just losing them. Hence why they haven't won a Super Bowl, okay? Come on. That's just silly. You got the best quarterback, the best receiver, one of the best receivers, one of the best quarterbacks. Pay them what they need. Get them the guys, okay? Come on, man. They're re-signing Mike Gesicki, but Sam Hubbard decided he's out. Trey Hendrickson, who led the league in sacks a season ago, is now looking for a trade out of Cincy. I don't know. It's just a mess over there. They can probably get their whole video, and they probably will. Let's talk about Joey Bosa to the Bills. Okay, Khalil Mack re-signed with the Chargers. But Bosa's like, no, it's time for me to go win. He was not excited about what he saw in their playoff game, their single playoff game against the Houston Texans last year, or last season. I say last year. It was really just a couple months ago, where Justin Herbert had those 3 interceptions. Not all of them really his fault, but you know it is what it is. He decides to go to Buffalo and says, I'm getting older, man. I need to play for a ring. And he feels confident in Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen got a contract extension that did not make a ton of news because it wasn't the biggest contract for a quarterback ever. It wasn't the biggest contract in the NFL history, which it darn well could have been. Josh Allen is that caliber of player where he could have, the reigning MVP, could have asked for the biggest deal in football history. And he said, no, I would rather go get me some guys. He could have easily got 10, 12 million more dollars. And he's like, I don't even know what that would do for my life. Like, I make so much money, it's ridiculous. $12 million is not going to change my life. But what is going to change my life? If the Buffalo Bills can go out and get Joey Bosa, can go out and get some other names. All right, go get me a receiver, whatever. And they can win a Super Bowl. That's life-changing stuff. And that's where Josh Allen's got his eyes on the prize. He's going to win a Super Bowl. He better win a Super Bowl, I swear. Najee Harris to the Chargers is another one I have in my notes. I think that could be a big move because right now, I don't think the Steelers have an offensive identity until they get a quarterback. Obviously, I think they're going balls to the walls for Aaron Rodgers, all right? And nothing better than a gunslinger with a good offensive line and DK Metcalf and George Pickens. That could be absolutely elite. But their running the ball identity is now gone with Najee Harris out, I think, and without a mobile quarterback such as Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. And who knows, maybe Russ stays in the Pittsburgh and we go from there. But you never know with Arthur Smith at OC what's going to happen. I've just been rambling this whole time, and I'm loving it. This is my favorite kind of video. It's just rambling. But that's all what this free agency has been, is all about rambling. Like, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Okay, the Commanders making a big push. Jets going with Justin Fields instead of Aaron Rodgers. Daniel Jones might get his chance again. All right, the Bears. Oh, let me talk about the Bears real quick. The Bears have done exceptionally well. I applauded what the Bears did a season ago. All right, adding DeAndre Swift, adding DJ Moore the year before, great draft with Caleb and Rome. Now, I applauded what the Bears did a season ago, but this year, Ben Johnson is really getting down to what he knows, and that's offensive football, and he knows that starts with an offensive line. So he went and traded for one of the best guards in the entire NFL from the Kansas City Chiefs in Joe Thuney. He got another great guard from Jonah Jackson from the LA Rams. All right, he also went and got himself a center. That was the Bears' problem last year. All right, Caleb did not have the time, the thought process, the development to get a play going because he had no time in the pocket. It looked like he might as well be playing behind USC's offensive line. No, they go get some studs, and now Caleb can really show his true potential next season. All right, and I think that's great for the Chicago Bears. We could do a full episode on them, and we might as well. But I want to hear it. I want to hear what your favorite move is from the NFL free agency. What did your favorite team do? And, of course, I just want to thank you so much for watching. Just drop down all your football comments, man. I just love talking some ball. So let's talk some ball, and I will catch you next time.